I'm Jim Lowe, and welcome to another one of my High Country Chronicles. Today, I'm at the Pine Creek Trailhead. The plan is to hike into French Lake today, the upper part of French Canyon, and then for the rest of the week, fish the golden trout lakes that are in and around French Canyon. Now, it's going to be a tough day today. It's just over 4,000 feet of elevation gain in 9 miles, with 2,500 feet of elevation gain in the first 4 miles, and the remaining 1,500 feet of elevation gain in the remaining 5 miles. To a person, everyone that I've discussed this trip with has encouraged me to make the hike in 2 days as opposed to doing it in 1 day. It's supposed to be that hard. Unfortunately, that usually doesn't work for me. I do better when I do a long slog on day one as opposed to trying to portion things out over 2 days. I'm typically rubbish on that second day. And, I'm really hoping that, my ultra training, I'm used to doing, long sufferfests, let's be real, long sufferfests, and then having a day to recuperate. So that's the plan today. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if the weather holds out. It's supposed to be a 30% chance of thunderstorms starting at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. is pretty early. 30% chance isn't that high, but if you're telling me it's going to start at 11 a.m. in the Sierra, I'm thinking I'm going to have some thunderstorms tonight or today. It's supposed to be a 20% chance of storms tomorrow, and then the rest of the week is supposed to be clear. So hopefully that's how it goes. It's about 7:40 and the sun has hit the canyon, and I'm already I'm already hot. So it looks like it's gonna be a hot day, at least in these lower altitude. I think the trail starts at about 7,500 feet. Fortunately, right now I'm in a grove of pine trees, keeps it somewhat shaded, and ascends to 11.5, 11.8, something like that. So I'm pretty sure that's where I'm headed. That's got to be the outlet of the first Pine Creek Lake. I'm about 2 hours in. I've gone about 3 miles with an elevation gain of just about 1,000 feet. I think this is going to be farther than I expected. When I looked at the distance, I used my my topo map. I used my topo map program, and I don't think it accounted well for the switchbacks. So I'm doing okay so far. I'm resting, I'm eating, I'm hydrating, all that good stuff. The clouds are starting to set in, so the temperatures are dropping just a little bit. Okay, this is the first Pine Creek Lake. And it's taken me about 3 hours and 15 minutes to get here. From what I understand, there's a fish, a nice little brook trout. From what I understand, the Pine Creek Lakes are good for small brookies and rainbows. Yeah, there certainly seem to be plenty of them in here along the shoreline. Looks like it'd be a good fishing destination, especially for kids. You know, it's a little bit of a slog up here, 3 hours straight up, but I think it looks like it'd make a very good beginner lake for someone willing to make that trek. I've seen a half dozen fish in the 3 minutes that I've been here. That looks like lake number 2. Once I get around this lake, I'll start the ascent to the pass. On the map, it looks like it's 2 miles from the lake to the pass. That's what I've been looking for. It's 11:30, so I'm making pretty good time so far. Still making my way up to the pass. It's an up, up, up. Looks like I've got a slight reprieve here before it goes up again. I guess that's the pass right there. Boy, that's still a lot of climbing to do. So far, I'd say this has been similar to going out of Kennedy Meadows and going up past Relief Reservoir up to Sheep Camp. I think it's on par with maybe Kennedy Meadows to Emigrant Meadow Lake in one day. I think that's about the effort that I'm putting in today. So I've come to a pond that's about a mile from the pass. With any luck, it'll only take me an hour to get over the pass. It's about time for lunch. I haven't decided whether I'm going to stop and eat or push on. I don't want to become underfueled, but there's a storm cloud to my right that's just sort of hanging over the pass, and I'm kind of thinking maybe I should try to get there before any rain or any weather comes in. Okay, I presume that this is the final pitch
up towards the pass. It wasn't the last pitch before the pass. Still plenty to go. Decided to wait and have lunch on the pass. We'll see if that puts me in calorie deficit or not. I'm feeling okay. Nearly there. Looks like I'm at the top. There are some ponds up here, and that's where I'll stop and filter some water and get some lunch. Here's one of the Pine Creek Pass ponds, and I presume that is French Canyon in the distance. It's taken me just under 6 hours, probably 5 hours, 45 minutes to get here. I believe the pass is at 11,200 feet. French Lake appears to be 2 miles in that direction. It's going to be off trail. I'm going to go out to the lip where I can see the valley. Hopefully I'll be able to see all the lakes there, and then I'll just make a beeline to French Lake, and hopefully I can get there by 3:30. The data from everybody on the trail is that it's been storming for the last 4 days, and it looks like it might be doing that today. So I'm going to eat quickly. I've got a half pastrami sandwich to eat. I've got a crowbar for fuel on the way to the lake. So the temperature just dropped. So I guess that means I'm having lunch on the trail. Figure I'll just hightail it off of this pass, head over to the lake, get a camp set up, so at least if it starts raining, I'll be somewhat sheltered. Now, there's a fellow that I met on the trail that told me that these ponds have fish, and if they do not have, poor spawning habitat, which would mean any fish that are in here are probably fairly big. Okay, welcome to the High Sierra. This is French Canyon, and you can't see a single lake. That's funny. Where I'm going is out that way. The rain started. Comes down any harder, I'm gonna stop, put on rain gear. French Lake. Camping prospects don't look too great. Maybe it'll look better when I get down there. Okay, so it started to rain, and I still haven't found a campsite yet. I put a garbage bag over my pack to keep it dry. I've actually got a garbage bag inside the pack to keep everything inside dry, but I put a garbage bag on the outside because the pack will just absorb water and it makes it heavy. So the inside stuff is going to be protected. The outside will get less rain than it might normally. Now, I remember reading that there were some decent spots along this shoreline, but it also looks like right there where that bush and that rock is, that looks like that might be somewhat protected. It's a ways away from the water, but that's not it's looking like, unless there's something over by that bluff, it's looking like it's maybe the only halfway protected spot. It's a bit rocky. Somewhat protected, but the wind is coming from my back, so it's not really offering me protection from the wind. The wind is coming into my face. The rain was coming from my back. It looks like there's a decent spot down there. This looks like it's an obvious campsite. I don't know, it's got this charred wood here, and I don't see... Here's another piece. And there's a fire. Great. Okay, so man-made, don't have to worry about lightning strikes. And it is flat, and I'm not feeling the wind here. So yeah, I think this is it.
So the rain has started and the thunderstorms. I did the worst job that I've ever done setting up this tent. I really don't know how it went so wrong, but hopefully it'll keep me dry while the storm is going, and then I can fix it later. So I'm hunkered down in here with all my gear. I've got my bear canister in the vestibule, my pack in the vestibule. The vestibule's closed, so I'm not getting much ventilation, and there's just enough sun peeking through the dark clouds that it's starting to cook me. The beta that I was given earlier basically said that the thunderstorms start at around noon and keep going until 6. Fortunately, it was 2:30 before it actually started. Hopefully it won't go till 6, but I guess we'll see. In the meantime, I guess I'm just going to hunker down here and do a little reading. You know, I was going to bring a book and I didn't. I figured I'd have enough on my phone to read. So let's hope I actually have something on my phone that I can read.
So the storm's a bit schizophrenic. It's multiple storms. So it's multiple storms that haven't yet converged into one big storm. So I'm getting patches of rain, thunder, with patches of daylight and no rain. So I took advantage of one of those patches to shore up the tent a little bit and pump some water. So I should be good. I mean, if it rains for the rest of the afternoon, evening, and I have to stay in here, I should be okay. I haven't found a spot for my bear canister yet. It's sitting right here in my vestibule, but I'm sure I'm gonna have to find a spot for that.
So the hail has started, and the storm is directly or nearly directly overhead. It's about 1.5 miles away. Hopefully it passes quickly. I've seen one lightning strike. So hopefully, you know, there's not much you can do when you're in a thunderstorm, except wait it out. Okay, that was 5 seconds, so that means it's moving my way. The strikes are getting closer. Now the funny thing is I had forgotten to put out a spot. This is where I said I would be. But I've got my spot right at the edge of the vestibule. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. Now, I didn't see that lightning strike, so I don't know. I mean, the last two we're moving forward, we're moving closer. Okay, now it looks like it's rain again. And I'm thinking I should have dug a trench around the tent, because it's coming down. I'm in a sandy area, so maybe that's going to soak it up. Okay, it's about 30 minutes later, and the storm, well, that storm has passed. We're back to a sun session, so I'm going to try to make a run for the latrine while I've got sun and no rain. But I can still hear thunder, so I guess they're stacked up. It's about 5:15, and there's no telling what the weather's going to do. It hasn't rained for about 30 minutes, so I figured I come out here and eat dinner while I can, and find a place for my bear canister, and then just turn in. For dinner today is pretty much same as always. Salami, cheese, this time it's provolone. I had a perfect bar earlier. And then I'm gonna have some protein powder, brush my teeth, and call it a day. Well, my night ritual is done. I've eaten, brushed my teeth, all that good stuff. I'd like to fish, but there's still thunder, and I don't want to risk being on that open water while there's still thunder going on. The likelihood of a strike is pretty slim, but better to be safe than sorry. I'm going to be here for a week, so I've got plenty of time to fish. So I'm going to be all over this canyon over the next week. I'm starting here at French, and then I'm going to head over to Steelhead Lake and follow that ridge till I get to Puppet Lake. I'm going to camp at Puppet for probably 2 nights and fish some surrounding lakes. And then I'm going to come down, cross through the canyon up to Miriam Lake and fish that, and then I'm going to come back and head over to the Royce Lakes. The California Fish and Game has a PDF that they've put out. I believe it's called the Eastern Sierra Backcountry Guide, and it essentially has all of the watersheds in the Sierra and what type of fish can be found in each of those watersheds, each of those lakes, each of those rivers. And so this area is just lousy with golden trout. Now the reason I'm here is because I've been reading about some of these lakes for over 25 years. And I've always wanted to come out here and check them out. Now, they don't all contain huge fish, but that doesn't really matter to me. You know, I've read about these lakes, and I just wanted to go check them out. So a lot of the lakes that I'm going to be fishing aren't going to produce large golden trout. Like French, not going to produce large golden trout, most likely. Steelhead is probably not going to produce large golden trout. But then there are others that are well known for producing large golden trout, like Puppet, that in recent years people are saying aren't producing the same size fish. So, you know, what tends to happen is these places get well known, and over time, you know, they're just not producing the same quality fish. But that doesn't matter for me right now, because I'm not really headhunting for large trout. There are, I mean, like I said, every lake in this area has fish. And if I was looking for golden trout, what I would probably do is I'd pick those lakes that have poor spawning, because if there's poor spawning, there's fewer fish. You know, oh, here comes the storm. Let me quickly summarize what I was going to say. You know, a lot of the big fish lakes have become well known and are no longer producing big fish. But again, every lake in this area has fish, and there are plenty of smaller lakes, plenty of lakes that are harder to get to, that you know, if I was hunting for big fish, that I'd go and explore. But that's not this trip. I'm not here to explore. This is my first time here. I'm here to you know, just satisfy my curiosity and see, you know, what these lakes are like, you know, see, you know, what they're like now as compared to what they were, you know, years ago. So anyway, I'm gonna get stormed on, and this particular cloud, this has been the one that's been producing the thunder for the last hour. So all of a sudden it decided to move on over on top of me. So it's about 6:45, and I'm in my bedtime kit. Same thing, same cycle: rain, a little sun, rain, thunder, a little sun. So there's not much else I can do tonight, so I'll catch you in the morning. The weather report at the ranger station said that today was a 30% chance of thunderstorms. Tomorrow was a 20% chance, and then Monday was supposed to be sunny. So I'm hoping that the weather will improve during the week, and I'll be able to get some fishing in. You know, if I don't get to fish French, I don't get to fish steelhead, not going to be a total loss. You know, if over the next 2 days, I basically just have to hike and then set up camp, and then so be it. I do really want to fish puppet though, and some of those surrounding lakes.